Well, we're going to be talking now about the ancient art of Batok. Is it?
Correct.
Thank you. A Philippine art form, ancient and really revered to talk about it. I've got Grace Bio. She's a Filipino American graphic designer and illustrator and muralist from Jacksonville. Welcome.
Thank you.
And CJ Bautista, Jacksonville visual artist and photographer. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So, tell us, first of all, just what is Batok tattooing?
So, Batok is a pre-colonial form of tattooing in the Philippines. It dates back to the early 1500s, and due to Spanish colonization, it was on the brink of extinction. So there was Filipino tattoo artists around the world that grew an interest to it. So they decided to go back to the Philippines and learn under different practitioners in the Philippines to learn the indigenous way.
I saw that there was a quote that the Spaniards, after colonizing the islands, they'd called it Las Islas de los Pintados, the islands of the painted ones, which is fascinating. And so this is a specifically kind of an indigenous Filipino tradition.
Correct.
Yes. And so what is the significance, CJ, of the tattoos for people? What do they symbolize?
They symbolize different things. Sometimes it symbolizes rank. Sometimes it symbolizes achievement. Sometimes it symbolizes family storage and lineage. It could also symbolize, or sometimes it could also just be for beauty, beautification.
Yeah. And does it symbolize anything about the people in the culture prior to colonization?
Yeah, it has to do with so there's actually different tribes throughout the Philippines that have different design motifs that pertain to that particular tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so the tradition, describe a little bit about how it's different from typical tattooing that we think of.
Yes.
So Batok, if you're familiar with tattooing, it's actually more traditional in the sense that it's stick and poke style. That's what it was done before machine tattoos. So people would use natural instruments, usually something like a thorn or sharpened wood, to actually tap the ink into the skin. So that's how it was done originally before modernization.
Mm-hmm. And what was the ink made of?
So the ink was actually scraped from the bottom of earthenware. It, as you know, it creates a natural charcoal. And back in that time, they mixed it in combination with water or some sort of juice from different fruits that was in the area, and it kind of makes like a thicker ink. And yeah, they just kind of put it in a bowl, mix it up, and they tap it into the thorn or whatever needle that they have.
So tell us what a mamba batok is.
Mamba Batok is the tattoo practitioner.
Okay. So that's anybody that is making these kinds of tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And are they required to use kind of the ancient tools? Do they make their own tools?
It's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm. And so actually, we saw recently there's this 106-year-old Filipino woman who was on the cover of Vogue.
Mm-hmm.
It is just an extraordinary image.
Yes.
First of all, she's just so beautiful, but
Yes,
second of all, she's completely covered
mm-hmm.
in these tattoos. We'll post a picture of her on our Facebook and our Instagram at FCC On Air so people can see it. But tell us a little bit about her and the significance of having her on the cover of Vogue.
Okay, so her name is Apple Wang Od. She is from the Butbut tribe in Kalinga, Buscalan. And she's actually 107 years old. And so she's significant because in that region, that form of tattooing was on the brink of extinction, and she was the last person that was doing it. But because most recently she became a national treasure of the Philippines, people have literally traveled from all around the world to go see her. And yeah, now she's famous, and people are really fond of the art form.
So we should say we're talking about this because you are hosting an event that's going to feature someone doing this kind of tattooing. So tell us about the event, first of all. Who is going to be receiving tattoos? Is it the kind of event where people can go and get tattoos?
Okay, so first of all, it is a tattoo-based event, but we're looking at this more as a cultural event in honor of AAPI month and
Tell us
what
what that is.
Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Thank
There is a practitioner that is in California, coming from Southern California. His name is Francisco San Diego, and he's actually training a local Filipino tattoo artist here. It's a friend of ours, Trish Ann Padilla. And because of that apprenticeship, we thought would be a great idea to go ahead and make an event out of it. So he's going to come here. He's going to do a demonstration and talk on it. And we've also like to showcase other Filipino American tattoo artists in the community. And we also have going on a visual art show. And we're setting it up as we speak at the moment. It looks amazing. We asked the artist to provide art which is inspired by either tattoo or pre-colonial Philippines.
Oh, fascinating. And so, who gets these tattoos? Is it something that really is just almost proprietary, that it's done for and by people of Filipino descent?
Yeah, so back in the day, you had to earn the tattoos, but because of the modern way of tattooing, they Mamba Batoks do prefer you to be of Filipino descent, but they're kind of opening that venue for anybody to explore their ancestry, especially like if you're with a Filipino, they kind of like merge their ancestry with the Filipino tribal designs.
And I see you have ink on your arm. Do either of you have one of these tattoos?
I do.
Okay. And so, tell us about the experience of getting that.
So this is a really cool story of how I received this. So this was done by Lane Wilkin. He wrote a book called Filipino Tattoos. It's the first of its kind, and he took the whole trek to go to the Philippines to learn under different practitioners himself, and he brought it back to his respective homes. And he's in Las Vegas and Hawaii, and now he's literally traveling all around the world to do batok.
So, describe, because people can't see
Mhm.
necessarily in the radio, but describe the tattoo, what it looks like, and what it symbolizes.
Okay, so the tattoo I have, it is 4 triangles, and it has 4 triangles on the inside that are filled, and it's a straight line. But what this represents is so in pre-colonial times there was these revered, commonly women called babalans, and they were chieftains. They were leaders of their tribes. They were shamans. They were healers, and um, so apparently when the Spanish came, they were threatened by these babalans, and sorry to be graphic, but they murdered them in a gruesome way, and they fed them to the crocodiles. And the triangles represent the back of the crocodile back, and Filipinos believe that the Babalan spirit is in all crocodiles. So this means that my ancestors are always with me.
Is the location of it significant at all? And are there any kind of guidelines or traditions when it comes to where tattoos are placed?
Yes, so apparently, back in that time, it represented like depending on the position on the body, it represented a social status or an achievement. Like for the men, when they're tattooed on the chest, they, sorry to be graphic again, they they were known as headhunters, and it's pretty much self-explanatory where they beheaded their enemies. And because of that, they protected their tribes, so they earned that chest tattoo. And when it came to women, they mainly got their upper arms tattooed, and that represented that they were ready for marriage or they're ready to be fertile.
Okay. And for you personally?
For me personally, I told Lane that I wanted to activate my creative hand, which is my right hand. And this was for me to seamlessly create. And I swear to God, ever since I got this tattoo, I feel like this force around me when I create, like my ancestors are surrounding me and upholding me as I create.
You have a regular administered tattoo as well. So,
Mhm.
how do they compare the experience?
Oh God, it's significantly different. So for me, Batok was very gentle. It actually did not hurt up until he started tattooing the sides of my arm. However, in contrast, when it comes to machine tattoos, it was brutal the whole time. You can ask CJ, he was there when I got it. I was sweating the whole time. I was in complete pain. So personally, I prefer Batok.
Is it something that you're interested in, CJ,
Oh,
in getting
absolutely.
one?
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, I've gotten several tattoos, as you can see, but I don't have the Batok yet. Haven't had the opportunity for a practitioner readily available. I'm not able to travel. Uh, but with Francisco coming from California, we do have an appointment set up for the both of us.
Oh, terrific. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what kind of symbol you're going to get and where you're going to get it?
So, Filipino tattooing is very interesting. It's actually very spiritual in nature. So, Mamba Batoks usually have a consultation with their client. They ask them their background, where their parents are from, something personal about them. And believe it or not, the tattoo designs are psychically channeled to them. So, whatever you receive that's directly from spirit or your ancestors,
So you just get what you get. You
you
don't.
get what you get.
Sometimes it's like that, yes. I mean, you can also have some input, of course, but but for the most part, the practitioner decides what you get. It's a very spiritual ceremony. It's not just like jumping into a tattoo shop and getting some flash. It's
Mhm.
very different.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
super interesting. And so, you, Grace, do other events that are
Mhm.
focused on Filipino American community here in
Mhm.
Jacksonville.
Mhm.
Um, why is it important to you to kind of make that community more visible or celebrate it in different ways?
Well, to be transparent, for a long time, especially as a visual artist in Jacksonville, I didn't see enough representation for the AAPI community or Filipinos. So I kind of sought different sources and organizations that did that type of work, and I volunteered my time and my gifts to make sure that we were uplifted in any way that I could. So, pretty recently, I'd say last year, that I was granted the opportunity to be a curator of an all Filipino art exhibit. And that was kind of like my first time uplifting other Filipinos in the community.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate your work. It's really great that you're going to bring this amazing art form to Jacksonville. It's this Saturday, May 25th from 3 to 8 p.m. It's at Jacksonville Piercing and Tattoo on 8th Street.
Hmm.
Correct.
CJ, Grace, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.